Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is my first voiceover video. I'm trying this whole thing out. I thought this video kind of required it, to be honest. Wasn't gonna post this video because I really wasn't happy with how I did this haircut. As you can see, I am sectioning off my dad's hair, and I am, I'm putting the clips in to go around the head. And my idea was I'm gonna focus on the sides, because all the other haircuts prior to this for my dad, which I think was two total so far, I used scissors on the whole head because I didn't have my clippers yet. And this time I had already done quite a few of the cuts that I ended up doing on my dad's hair, so I was pretty confident. And for some reason, just because of how my dad's hair normally lays, I thought, why don't I section it off? Which was a horrible idea. There's a few times in the clinic at school that I went to do that, and my teacher's like, don't do that. So anyways, right now I'm just removing the bulk of the hair. I've noticed one technique that I like to do if somebody has more bulkier hair. I'll slap a 4 guard on it and just hit the whole head, at least on the sides. That kind of gets everything out of the way. I knew that 4 was going to be a safe guard, because the highest guard that we'll end up going to with this haircut, I believe, was about a 3. I think it was a 3, and it could have been a 4. 4 could have been the highest. We'll see. So yep, just clearing everything away, trying to clean up the canvas, as they would call it. Keep in mind, I am still in school, so it's alright that I suck. It's totally worth it. By the way, this video is sponsored in part by your mother. Just kidding. I apologize about the stuffy voice too. I've been sick all winter. I'm really just stuffed up. I don't really know if I'm sick, but I've been stuffed up all winter. Trying to take my, I took allergy medicine in the morning and stuff, and for some reason it's still not working. Alright. By the way, I did just make this beat like 30 minutes ago. I need a background music, so hope you guys enjoy that as well. And don't forget to subscribe. It's a big deal as well. Okay, so now that I got the bulk removed, now I'm going and I'm setting my first line. This is the fun part, right? Get to set the first line. I believe we're using a... I want to say we're using a 0 guard open at this point. At this point, I am actually pretty confident with setting my lines. They did take me a little bit longer before. That was what was eating up so much time of me cutting hair, was just setting the lines in. But I've become a lot more comfortable with doing that. Overall, my technique is not horrible in this cut. It was that one main technique in the beginning of sectioning off the hair that ended up screwing me over. But you guys, you'll see. It wasn't a complete doozy. So you did notice that I did skip the video ahead a little bit. Right now we are at I think we are at a 3 guard at the moment. Going around the sides, hitting it with a 3. And one thing that I've kind of been doing is I go through, I set all my lines first, and then I'll go back and I'll blur them out. Now this was kind of a light fade, so you won't see the fade as much as you would with like a skin fade, of course. But overall, the technique of doing so is just a little bit different. Some people like to blend as they go. I kind of like to remove and get all the bulk out of the way, get the line set, and then kind of go from there. So at this point, I'm cleaning up that top line and I'm brushing it down, really just trying to get a defined top line. I think that's just a 4 guard. Keep in mind, I did do this video like 2 weeks ago, so I can't necessarily remember, but just basing it off of how the length of my dad's hair, getting that top line in, brushing it down. That's good. Definitely feel a lot more comfortable using the clippers for sure. And this is where I messed up. I mean, really, I messed up in the beginning, but at this point right now, the top of the hair should be flowing over and kind of blending in with the sides that I'm working on right now. So when I'm doing that flicking up motion, it's cutting the side hair, but it's also blending and cutting the hair on top. And that's where I really messed up. You can see right here, it really doesn't look that bad from the sides. The haircut really looked good. It wasn't until this point that I'm undoing these clips that I was like, surprise, you have a disconnected haircut that you have to now figure out how to blend in. Shout out to my dad for being such a good sport, though. So we essentially finished the sides at this point, and now we're gonna hit it with scissors. I gotta say, scissor work is one of my favorite parts of being a barber. I think a lot of barbers just focus on clippers, and sometimes you'll get clients that come in with longer hair that don't want a 4 or an 8 guard to the top of their head. They want it something a little bit more unique. So being able to know the scissor work is important to me, and I don't need to preach that to people that have been in the industry for a while. But for me personally, that's something that I want to incorporate into my haircuts. So right now we're doing a scissor over comb technique. We have the hair kind of going to the sides, and we're using the scissor over comb technique, but I'm actually using my thinning shears, to blend in those sides. And this is kind of when I noticed, so when I initially took the hair down, I noticed, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But it was at this point that I was using the blending shears that I was really putting in more time and effort. This is where I lost most of my time with this haircut. In total, this haircut took me 1 hour and 18 minutes. I broke it up because I didn't feel like you guys would want to watch a video that's 1 hour and 18 minutes. Let alone, I didn't know how to commentate over an hour and 18 minute long video. Cut and dry. I messed up in the beginning, and it took me more time to finish. Don't forget as well, if you guys like these videos, please subscribe. I don't do these videos for anybody but, really educational purposes, and really just to show you my process while being in school. But subscribing definitely does help and can potentially help in the future. Right now I'm doing the edge up line for my dad with the scissors. One thing I realized is with this style haircut, you want a more natural edge up line. You don't want to make it super crispy as if you were doing like a bald fade or anything like that. Well, bald fade, you're not going to do edge up line anyways, unless it's, you're going to do them on the front and whatnot. But because this is a light fade, more of a gentleman's cut, you want to use the scissors for the most part to do the edge up and give it more of a natural look. This was a good day as well. We had the football game on, so Pops was pretty distracted while I was jacking his hair up. All good though. All good. No worries out here. So I'm going back and scrubbing with I believe I have a 3 guard open. maybe even having the floor closed, because I was having a hard time blending and getting it blended in properly. So I'm going back and hitting it again just to make sure that it was blurred out and that there was no lines. And again, I would not have to do this process had it not been for the mistake in the beginning. But that's alright. We live and we learn. So at this point, I think we're kind of talking about, I think I'm telling him where I messed up. He told me, he's like, I love the sides. The side length is great, and he's just kind of going through his routine, what he does in the morning to style his hair. I think my pops would look great if he slicked his hair back, but that's just not the style that he wants to go through. And that's, one thing that I noticed, or that I learned, is, when you're styling a customer's hair, let's say just to get a nice picture or just to show them like, hey, this is the final haircut, you may style it in a way that they don't necessarily style it, and one of two things has happened. They'll either like it or they won't like it, and that's okay. I thought my dad would look cool with the slick back look, but that wasn't necessarily for him, which is totally fine. So we wanted to make the haircut look good for how he styled it. Taking a little bit more length off the top, I think it was it was still a little bit too bulky for him, and really just, I think we're thinning it out at this point, so that it lays a little bit better. So he approved of the sides. Sides are good, and now we're just removing a little bit of the bulk. If you guys want to add me as well on Instagram, it's at COIFFEUR Nick, N-I-C-K, Kofer Nick. So now Dad's brushing his hair, seeing how everything lays, seeing how it looks. I think we've come to a pretty good agreement that everything's laying down pretty good. We did put some styling gel in it, because he uses gel. A little bit of gel in the morning. And me, I'm just super disappointed in my head at this moment. Like, son of a... Why did I do that, But I feel like it's good to mess up now than, mess up in the shop. Which I still will do. A little bit more thinning shears to finish out the blend. That thinning shear over comb technique is awesome. My teacher calls it the magic eraser. Whenever you're doing any sort of fade and you're trying to blend the top in with that last line, with when you're trying to blend the top hair in with the top of the side of the head, which I totally blanking on what's that called, the pair. Anyways, it's awesome. You hit it a couple times and you'll start to notice that the line goes away pretty easily, which is really cool. I guess now is when we're putting gel into it. We didn't put gel in it before. The funny thing is, my dad totally tried to pay me after this haircut. I'm like, dude, don't give me any money, please. It wouldn't make me feel good. Get me another day. So now we're just styling it. He actually was pretty happy with the haircut. I told him where I messed up, and he was was totally okay with that. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching, and feel free to subscribe.